3, 2, 1. Yep, we are live. Let some people get in here.
Hello.
Check, check. 1, 2.
There we go.
Check, 1, 2. All right, we'll see if people chime in. But let's dive right into this thing. So, first off, man, how have you been? What's this Prada New York sign behind you?
Dude, I just thought it was cool, to be honest. And I didn't want a blank wall, that's for sure. So I just popped it on there. Got it from Ross, maybe? I don't know. It wasn't anything too crazy. It was like $15. I was like, all right, got to get something back there. So
I actually prefer a blank wall. It's less for me to pay attention to. So,
yeah,
but other people like seeing the shit. So, oh well.
I'm with you.
All right, we'll put this in here. So, Johnny Nitafan, ladies and gentlemen, hope every one of you are having a great week. It's finally Friday. Get to go scuba diving tomorrow, swim with my fishies. I even named one of them after you, Johnny.
Where at? Where are you going?
There's a couple rock quarries over here. I'm going to Nashville tomorrow. It's like 2 hours away from me, and they have a Martha's Quarry. They sunk a big excavator and all kinds of mining stuff. It's like super cold, so you got to piss in your wetsuit. But there's two types of scuba divers. There's the ones that pee in their wetsuit, and then there's the ones that lie about it.
Yep.
You can't hold it. You can't hold it back, even if you go before. Scuba diving's fun though, man. It's like, what is it? 95% of the ocean has been unmapped.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That is. We've explored more of fake space and all of that, but this is not the Joe Rogan show, so we're not going to get into that. Put in our tinfoil hats. So, dude, we had a conversation the other night. You told me you've almost done 100,000 in like what deposits over the last 3 months.
Yeah,
almost.
Like real money, not like AP.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's one of those things that it's like, I think we got to get away from like, I mean, AP is great, but it's just so, how do I say it? Like it's honestly like an illusion.
I wrote 100 grand. Yeah, well, what'd you issue? What'd you make?
Yeah, and it's like the reason that I got so like convicted on that, because like when I did 100K when I did 100K, like I wrote 100K. It was great. Like, but it's so like, it's honestly misleading to a lot of people, because like when I did that, I didn't like actually net a bunch, and it was honestly really confusing to me. And so the reason I got like so convicted that wasn't the way, because it's like, cool, like you wrote that, but it's like there's a lot of other factors involved of like what you actually make. One, what's your issue rate? Two, what was your cost per acquisition actually in that time, which was high. It was like 300. And when you're talking about something that's not recurring revenue, something that's like the lifetime value of a customer was only $600. So profit was like $300, and not even including churn, which is a huge factor as well, which was 20% churn on that. It's just like, dude, where there's the margins are like little to none. Like you're talking about like right at $200 per app.
Oh, those overrides on you, Johnny.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I learned a lot from that, and it's like it happens. Like I chose to do that, but at the same time, like when you talk about a story of like doing 100K, like it's just the reality. So like what happened was like I didn't take home, like honestly that month I think I took home maybe like 7 grand, and then got a $7,400 bonus on top of that, so 14,000 total. But it's like, when you're doing that amount of volume, you should not just be taking home 14K.
Yeah,
you
if
should
I
be
wrote,
at
what
least
was your
50.
issue rate on that? So
Issue rate was like right around 70%.
70%. So based on my contract levels where I'm at, like if I had wrote that in a month, 70,000, 75% advance. It would have been well over 45 grand.
Yeah.
Like,
It
big
yeah.
difference.
There's a huge difference there too. Like when you're at a 70% comp, and then when some of the products you write are like a giving you like a
30,
guaranteed
40.
issue, like a 35%, or like a an America like term that's like it's like a 40% commission. It's like there's very little like profit margin there. Like you could definitely make it, but it's like when you're buying leads, expensive leads, like 40 to 50, like $60, and then your comps there, there's no it's like it's hard to really actually be profitable in that as a single agent. Now what happens is you as you build, you can actually like gain the override back and like start increasing that, and then it's starts getting a little bit better. But when you're talking about a producer, it's like, I'm not saying it's not possible, but like the odds are not in your favor at all to be profitable in that.
No, never. It's a what does Warren Buffett say? It's not a matter of how hard you're rowing, but the ship that you're in.
Yeah, it's about the boat that you're in. It's like you could be a level 10 talent in a level 2
New
opportunity, and it's just
opportunity.
horrible. You're not going to go anywhere. And like shout out to Alex Hormozy for this. Love that dude to death, because it really doesn't matter. It's about like where you're at and what kind of opportunity that you're in, and you want to stack the variables in your favor as much as humanly possible. So for me, what that looked like is like, one, I got to control the flow of to me. I'm a sales guy. I know how to sell, but it's like, how do I control the flow to me so I could be closing all day at a high level, at a high clip, just boom, closing all day. That's how I was able to close 7 sales in a day on $100 in ad spend that day. Like you just don't see those returns at all. Like if you bought leads, like you're getting 2 leads for that. There's no way you're closing 7 deals unless you're a crazy referral guy. So what I realized is like, okay, I need to control the flow to me, and then I can actually start closing sales. And then from there, so that's one of the variables. I controlled the marketing from front to back. I knew exactly if I put this many dollars out to put an ad up, this X amount of people will respond. And then from there, I got to take 10 or 15 or 20 of these guys, and I go through 10 to 20 leads, and then all of a sudden I get a commission check. That's just kind of how it worked out. So then I was like, okay, cool. So I stacked that in my favor. Then how do I do churn? Well, what's this is like something I haven't really shared about, but like one of the carriers that I actually use actually helps the agent with not they don't give immediate chargeback. So that's another variable that I added in my favor. That's like it was crazy. So like I added that. So then there's like, okay, you take out churn as well as a variable. What other things possibly could happen? Well, I hired a dialer for a little bit, and then I was just like, hey, it's not worth it because I'm not getting the actual leverage that I'm looking for on my time, because it's like I could call these guys and like just make the sale right there instead of like setting appointments or transferring. So it's all about stacking the variables in your favor plus getting a higher comp. I mean, that's another way to know that you'll have actual good profit margins, because when you think about it, like it's okay if you're on a recurring if you're getting recurring commissions, it's great. Like it's fine, like lower commissions cool. Cuz you could say, okay, I'm getting a $30 a month from this client, like Medicare, 25 bucks, whatever, a month, and these people are staying on for an average of 6 to 8 years. I mean, your lifetime value of that client is great.
Yeah, look at
However,
Joshua Young's.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Like that's why his business model is great, because his upfront commission is not crazy, but then on the back end, it makes up for it. However, when you're in life insurance, it's super crucial to get that LTV high, because that's your only commission check really, unless you're counting renewals. But then there's also things that I like. I'm starting to structure. I'm not there yet, but I'm starting to structure. Okay, how do I cover the acquisition cost? So for me, it's right around $35 to $50. Last week it was like 50 or is $56. Closed 18 sales for like 20,000 AP issued, like actually issued. Made well over 12 to 15 grand actual net profit
Fucking
from
go.
that one week, and I spent $1,000 on ads. Like you just think about that, and it's like I remember when I couldn't even write, like actually issue 15 grand in a month, and then you do 20 in a week. It's like it just gets ridiculous. But like my acquisition cost was $56 in that, and then you consider a $650 like average commission, or like it's like right around 650 to 750 average commission with the upfront. So then it's like, okay, that's taking home $600 an app. You take 18, like the numbers start working out. But when you're in life insurance, you want to get that LTV high, and then add in an upsell. There's got to be an upsell along the way, which I'm still trying to figure out. I don't know what that looks like. However, you have to look at what's the adjacent thing. So for me, I was like, okay, that's Medicare, but I don't want to split my focus and attention with that. So maybe I create a referral partner, or maybe I
Correct.
create something that actually they can just handle that, pay me out. We can just work something out. But how do you optimize? Like, there's so many people coming in. So it's like, how do you actually optimize that? And so that's something I'm working on now. I don't have it figured out, but
I work with the best. And what you're
yeah,
talking about with variables is the same thing that I teach. It's the 5 external functions of any business. You got, and if you're dependent on anybody else for any of them, which it's so cool for me to see you taking all of this into consideration now. You got lead generation, you got
yeah,
lead nurturing, you got sales, fulfillment, retention, and ascension. Get more customers, make them worth more. It's the only 2 ways to grow a business. That's
yep.
it. And so it's so cool to see you getting on top of these things. I'm super fucking proud of you, man. Seriously.
Appreciate
And
you. Yeah.
I know Bailey's like, eat this
Yeah.
dude up. So I'm super proud
Yeah.
of you, man. So
It's
we got a
big. But one
question in
thing
the
I'm
chat.
learning now, though, to be honest, like it doesn't like it. I'm still in my Rocky cutscene. Like I'm still in my season of like I need to grind, I need to hustle. Like I'm still building this skill of like selling. So like I only pay myself out like 4 grand a month, and that's it. Everything else just stays in the business, and it's like that's so that like I could like live comfortably, but not like splurge out like crazy. And it's like everything else is the business money. It doesn't matter. That's that. And so I think when you're really looking to scale, it's really important to like one set up a business LLC, and that is the business money. Like that's how my thought process is. That's the business's money. This is not my money, right? I'm gonna get my paycheck. I'm working. I'm really growing this thing, but it's like that's all I'm paying because I'm just keeping it there. And it's good to take dividends as well, but like right now, it's just not the time to actually do that. And so that's what I'm kind of learning. Like obviously, it's going into like savings and stuff, but it's like all I can do is right now is like just work the skill of like learning how to sell, and how do I teach other people how to sell as well. So that's another thing that I'm like I don't want to split my focus too crazy right now because I have a super high leverage opportunity right now. But it's like, okay, how do you stay in that, stay good, and then all of a sudden, what's the next highest lever? And the next highest lever, because right now it's like, okay, I make a sale, boom, make it $750. Like that's the highest lever on my time right now. So I'm just pulling that as much as I can every day. But then the next thing is stepping into how do I manage people? How do I manage sales guys and run actually a sales force?
Yes, we got a question in the chat. And before you mentioned an LLC, so I'll tell you guys to go talk to a CPA or someone who can explain different tax benefits. I personally have an S corp owned by a
Yeah.
holding company in Minnesota just because of tax advantages. So I've got all my stuff structured pretty crazy. Like my house is owned by a trust, and I have to pay the business rent for a house that it owns. I don't own my house anymore. So there's lots of things you can do, but I highly recommend going and talking to a CPA, someone who's going to understand and help you with taxes, and they're worth their weight in gold. I'll tell you this if you find a good one. So we got a question in the chat. Top 3 carriers Johnny writes with and why? So just a quick answer to that.
Yeah, quick answer. I mean, um, so I never the people thought I was crazy at first. Honestly, don't care in terms of like me growing a business. Just makes sense. So number one carrier right now is Senior Life, just because there's no immediate chargebacks. And I remember like being on the emotional roller coaster, and like I could go deeper into that. That's not like what this whole thing is about, but like the reason I chose like them is like one of my number one carriers is because they have a great final expense product. They have a great final expense value as well. Plus, like they're really agent focused. So they're not gonna like if you get a chargeback, it's not your meat, like you don't feel that. It gets paid off on the back end from your renewals. So or like the back few months. They give you a little bit less. Instead of a 75% advance, you're getting a 60%. They take that 15%, pay off your chargebacks on the back end. So that's one of my number one carriers right now. Super easy e-app as well. Have had one app declined in 65 apps. So it's like issue rate's crazy. So they're my number one carrier right now. Second one was Sentinel Life. It's not like one of the top carriers. I had top comp on there. But they just very simple e-app and very simple voice signature, that the client doesn't have to have text, emails, nothing like that, and you're not having to do a phone interview. It's like it's a less than 60-second like voice signature that they literally type in one if they want to continue on, one to say yes, and like, do you agree to the HIPAA? Click one yes, and what's the last four of your social? Boom, 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 you're done. So Sentinel is another one. These are all for final expense because that's what I'm focused on primarily right now. And another one, I would definitely say Royal Neighbors is higher, but it's very simple. So I'm looking for what's going to get, because the reality is that your client's going to get bored, and not bored, they just get impatient. So like you want to get somebody who like, you want to get the best possible thing, but also you want
They
to,
want a fast delivery.
yeah, you want the client experience to be good. They don't want to have to go through like an hour of underwriting questions. They don't have to go through all these. Like, it just gets a headache. I've had so many times that I'm on like a phone interview and the client hangs up because they're tired of getting asked the same 40 questions.
National
So,
Life Group, United Home Life.
dude, it just gets nuts. So I would say those two for sure. Royal Neighbors is a good one. Trinity Life is a good one. Liberty Bankers Life. These are all final expense
Yeah,
carriers.
Liberty Bankers, Baltimore Life, they're very competitive to Mutual of Omaha,
Yeah.
which is a big product in the final expense market. They're a
Yeah.
living promise. So yes, Baltimore Life. Do you have that? I got a question for that.
I do. I don't know. I like tried getting contracted. I never really got like my contracting paperwork. So
I'll give you a contract.
okay, because that's I see that always on final expense toolkits. Like they have insane rates.
They beat out Mutual of Omaha most of the time. So
By a
I'm glad
lot.
I
It's
got them.
crazy. It's funny because when you start looking at the business models of IMOs, and I know you've spoken out about this a little bit too, but like it's crazy because everybody thinks that there's like only like 5 carriers out there. But what I realized is when I got my contracts held from the IMO that I was with, like I realized that there's a whole new world out there.
Yeah,
No,
where's
you
my
don't have
keys?
to be writing
Where's
America 24/7 because those
my
chargebacks
carrot?
are nasty.
Yeah, I'll dangle your contracts over your head, Johnny.
Yeah, and it's like honestly, like you can for sure, like, but I can go out and get like literally within a week, I was contracted with 15 different carriers that like were honestly when I was looking at it and I put it in final expense toolkits, I'm like, how have I never heard of these carriers? They're better rates like than Mutual of Omaha. They're better rates than all these things that you're told. Even like America, like I hate to say it, if you're writing America 24/7, like I'm the one that you're getting the chargeback from probably
That's
because
what I
like
always told people.
dude, like it's so bad. Like it's
I'll
just like
come in with
so high, it's
Forrester and
ridiculous.
cut their non-smoking rate in half because they don't count occasional cigar use or any. I love giving chargebacks. There's just something so satisfying knowing that money that you just made is now coming to me, and you have to pay it back. But I'm sadistic like that. These other IMOs give you some nice dark shades with big blinders on the side. It's just like the Kentucky Derby, guys. They want you focused on all of their stuff. They do it in a very efficient and smart way.
I
And they
agree.
almost ostracize you where you're scared to speak out against it. I just have a set of balls. They're big and they hang down low, and I don't care to say something to somebody because I know they can't beat me up. Like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth, as like Mike Tyson likes to say.
Yep.
0% interest loans, sign me up. I don't know what that was referring to, but yeah. So, dude, you've been running your own ads now, and you're doing 50 to 60K of issued paid production a month.
Yep.
What is you're saying that you want to give some valuable shit chargebacks. That's the 0% interest loans, 100%. If you guys have any questions for Johnny or any compliments for this young man and the things he's accomplished, put them down below. I'm sure we'd both love to go over those. But Johnny, you're talking about giving some stuff away. So let's drop some gems on these people. What are you doing with these ads to be writing that much production? Of course, your one call closing.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, we just got a question about that. So
Okay.
let's kind of hear.
What was
Let's
the
hear.
question? I didn't see it.
Yeah. So are you running ads, static images using Facebook form or landing page?
Good
So
question.
what? Yeah, give us an
Yeah, so
overview of how you're making this money because let's just be honest, most of them are struggling to do a fraction of what you're doing.
yeah. And I'm gonna be honest, guys, like it gives me chills even thinking about it because I looked at my October commissions. Just like how far I've come, and I feel really blessed to kind of be in this position. I just want to like be there for the agent that like I was when I was like trying to figure it out because I was the guy on the top of the leaderboards. I'm literally making a video on this right now. Like I was that guy like 50, 60,000 a month writing, right? But it was like in October, one of my best months, I think I wrote like 64,000. It was great. I was getting celebrated. It was number one. It was cool, but I only got 10,000 or I get $8,400 deposit into my account
Fuck.
and I spent 8,800. So if you guys can do simple math, that's negative 400. And it's like, why am I like
Breaking your
saying,
back to give someone else overrides that took advantage of you.
yeah, it's like, why is there a, like, how am I negative? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, I'm on the top of the leaderboard. Like, is everybody going through this? Like, it genuinely is so confusing. And so I feel for the person who's in that position because that was me. And I looked back, I almost cried on like last week because, like, you think about it, it's like you're getting hyped up, you're getting asked to be on calls, you're getting asked to speak, you're getting asked to like speak at conferences. Like, it's great, but it's like, it's like super instant gratification. It's like, okay, like it's cool that people are like celebrating, but at the same time, like I actually want to like live a good life. Like I could care what else people think. So like what I had to do is like I'm tuning everything out. Like I genuinely don't care about what anybody else is doing. All I need to do is like actually work and make money. I'm not getting on conference calls anymore. It doesn't matter. I'm going to work. And so I started learning Facebook ads. And like one thing that I really took from Alex Hormozy is like people wait so long to start, but what you'll realize is that you'll be better than most people. You'll be able to get easily into the top 10% if you just really study the thing for 20 hours. Like do something for 20
Yeah,
hours. So what I did is
you
like
get 80% of like the skill efficiency. You get most of the gains in the first 20 hours of acquiring a new skill.
correct. And so like what I did is like, okay, I took that and I was like, okay, every morning I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. and from 4 to 6 a.m. I need to take 20 days to learn or like 10 days to learn this a week. And I need to just spend 2 hours every morning when I'm at my peak mindset. Like, how do I learn this? How do I do this? So then I started talking to people of how to actually like make this happen. I was willing to pay whatever it took because I knew that that would be an investment in myself and in a skill that I needed to like make money. So then I was lucky to find some people that were willing to help me out and we were actually able to exchange value where I was able to give them all my sales scripts and advice and kind of frameworks that I think through when I'm selling and one call closing. And they were able to give me the value. So like of like how to market because I was like helping their sales team like sell more. So I did that and I pretty much like I spent that 20 hours, like really did it. And then I realized it was an interesting realization, but I realized that it just came with time and testing. And so that's what everybody said. It was like, you just have to test. I'm like, what do you
It's
test though?
testing. The ads are, oh, they're like girls, man. I got a question in the chat. What is your current ROI? So what you're doing now, if you write 60K, what does that look like in deposits?
Yeah, 60K. Like if I'm issuing 60K, upwards of like 30, 40 right now. Like this month I'm about to pass 40 for the month, like net profit. And it's just crazy to think like that's kind of where I'm at. Like it's just ridiculous. But it feels like I'm kind of printing money. It goes back to like what I was saying before, because I was like spending $1,000 to $2,000 like up front. Like you have to front the money. It just feels like a hack because you're paying as you go. You pay as you play. So it's like I was only paying Facebook $50 a day at first. And it was like if I get like 4 to 5,000 deposited in my account and I spent $300, like this is ridiculous. Like what the heck just happened? And then I just remember doing that cuz I was like, okay, I'll pay Facebook $50 a day if I can get it, like try to get 5 commission checks a week on average of like $750. Like making net profit $700 a day is ridiculous. So it felt like I was printing money, and it still does to this day. Like I've increased it. I'm starting to like build a sales team. That's my goal. I have one guy that's like closing really well right now. Um, and I'm just feeding him leads. But I think it's that's kind of like the journey that I went on. So like I went from spending like 1,000 to 2,000 bucks a week and up fronting that and like really feeling like I'm risking it all to like I don't know. I just pay as I go.
Yeah.
I see ROI, return on
Yeah, we
investment.
didn't get specific enough. So if you spend $1,000 on ads, Johnny, what do you typically get back?
It's right now, like in terms of issued premium, I calculate that at every Friday. So I'll calculate that this week. Like this week, I've spent $1,200 so far, and I've issued 15,500 something. So it's like my average like ROI. It really depends what you're talking about. But if you're talking about issued premium, it's upwards of 20 to 30x. But then if you're talking about net deposits,
Yeah,
more
net
like
deposits.
12 to 15 right in there. So if I spend $1,000, I'm getting 15 back, and I'll take that all day. So yeah, it's stupid.
And so what's kind of your strategy? Like walk people through exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, I meant to say so what I'm doing is literally I'm all I care about. And if you're new to like just Facebook marketing, all I do is run a simple instant form on Facebook, and all I ask for is 4 questions. I say, "What's your name? What's your number? What's your email? And what state are you in?" That's all I really care about because I can get everything else on the front end. I had to have a belief that shifted to what's high intent. And that's a phrase that's thrown around so much in this industry for lead vendors to just charge r-
I've got
egregious
13
amount of
data
money.
points. I
Yeah,
have
it's like
their
I got
favorite
40 data
color, their
points. It's
pet
like,
fish's name, their favorite porn star. I have everything about them.
yeah, it's like it honestly like yeah, they may have like a little bit more like
They went through a little bit more friction.
correct. Yeah, but it's like those are the I've run both. I run them for straight from an instant form to a landing page, and all I did was like I realized that there's still the same disconnected numbers. There's still the same pretty much contact rate is very similar, like 20 to 30%. There's still the closing ratio is like I could close maybe a little bit higher, but that's it. I just pay more for it. And I actually make more money if I just close the people on the instant form, because all I did was like people want to take that next step. If they want to do the landing page, cool, but all I care about is getting their name and phone number and state just as a reference
Call
point.
them right there. You're calling them immediately, are you not?
Correct. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
one of the like there's basics that you need to do in that. So like I send them to the landing page, and I get a notification right away once they fill out the instant form. And then from the instant form on Facebook, they go to the landing page, and I get them before they even see that landing page. So sometimes they'll even be filling out the landing page, and they're like, "Hey, I'm like trying to fill this out." I'm like, "Hey, don't worry. I actually can take care of it now. I'll just ask you the questions here." and I just start asking the questions on the landing page, and it's
And are
literally
you
like,
just using Zapier, Go High Level? What are you doing to get instant notifications as soon as they fill it out?
yeah, it's I was using Zapier, but now I'm just using High Level because you can set up instant text notifications, but I'm just sending myself an internal notification.
Yep.
I don't get texts anymore. But I just like on my computer, like I'm there like 24/7, and I just get a notification there of like when a form comes in.
So, guys,
What kind of
basically, he's
images
running a
are you
static
using?
image. Yeah, go ahead and say this, and I'll explain what you're doing.
Yeah, there's a few things that I've tested. One thing that I really like is like them just clicking on either, like I've seen great success with this of you have their age range and say click to get a quote. And literally they click whatever that is, and all you want them to do is click on the image. And so it's like you have different age ranges, 50 to 70, 70 to 80, 85 to whatever it is, right? So you want to do that. That's like crushing it right now. There's another one that's headstones, yeah, like that
Memes
sort of
work
thing.
really
Like
well. I sold a lot of policies from memes. Like, what's a good example?
that's
People,
yeah,
you'll spend a pack a day on cigarettes or something. All kinds of crazy stuff. Or if you remember this show, it's time to call in about life insurance. And it was a picture of a show from like the 50s or 60s, whatever. But stuff like that works pretty well. So, guys, he's running a static image. He's getting people to click on the picture by incentivizing it. And as soon as they fill out those 4 data points, he's just calling them.
yeah,
He's calling them immediately. What is the urgency, guys? Speed is key here.
yeah. That's
Speed is
all it
key.
is because they're seeing a life insurance image. It's about life insurance. That's what they're seeing,
You're
and like
catching them right there in the emotion. It's beautiful.
yeah, you like they just saw it and they just filled it out. So like they know what they're doing. They
I
know
didn't
that they're
fill that
looking
out.
for life insurance.
I'm sure you
Yeah, I don't
still
have
even
to
deal
ask.
with that.
I don't ask. Do you remember that? Because they just did it.
Yeah, I know they remember it. I'm not, guys, if you ask stupid questions, you'll get stupid answers.
Yeah, I don't ever ask that question
So, how long have you been doing these ads now?
since January.
And how long would you say it took you to find a winning and profitable ad?
Good question. I don't exactly remember. It was like a month in because I was stuck, which sucked. Like my ad account, when you have a new ad account, I was stuck at $50 a day.
Frozen,
Couldn't scale it up.
low daily limits. Yep.
Yeah, so I was stuck at $50. I was like, I just want to scale to 100 because I'm taking home over 20K on this, but like what happens if I increase it to 100? What happens if I increase it to 200? Like what's that look like?
Well, you also have
Um,
to be careful with that. Like just
right.
throwing money at ads will break it. So I look at like, let me just add a 10% increase every week until I get to 100.
Yep.
That way it doesn't break the ad. And guys, make sure you don't set end dates on your ads because the worst
Yep.
thing that could happen is you find a winning ad and then it shuts off right when it starts performing. You got to redo the whole thing, go through the learning phase. And guys,
Oh,
I'll give you
trust
a
me.
tip.
Yeah.
You want to be licensed in multiple states.
Yes.
Having only 3 states is going to drive your ad cost up through the freaking roof.
Yep.
How many states are you licensed in, Johnny?
25.
Exactly.
And I run in all of them.
Exactly.
That's how you're able to instantly drop lead costs. Like Oscar Gonzalez is like, dude, you literally only have to worry about like just do that and you'll like decrease your ads by a
I'd
lot.
say
Your
15 and
cost per
up is
lead.
a really good starting point if you're going to run ads.
Yeah.
If you've got like less than 10 or 15, I really wouldn't do too much. I would go make sales until you have enough money to get those extra licenses and expect to burn a little bit of money testing new ads because
Yeah.
not everyone is going to be a winner. Johnny, how many ads probably went to shit or didn't perform
A
like you wanted
ton.
it to?
Like
Exactly.
30 to 40 like different things. You like you build it all up, build out the campaign, get ready, get excited, and then it's like trash. It's like what the heck is going on? So, um Yeah,
Yeah,
those
got a question here. Does it mean your static ads is better than your video ads? Guys, video ads will drive up intent and drive down CPLs and lead costs simply because they have to watch it. It's not
yeah.
as easy as just clicking on that. And that's when we'll start getting into retargeting and lookalike audiences. Like Johnny, I'll tell you, that's pretty much the next step for you is
Oh yeah,
targeting.
that's what I already got that in the works. Like,
Smart boy. Once you have 100 data points, it's
yeah.
or 100 conversions off that, it's time to start doing that.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I'm like, I just set that up, which like honestly, full transparency sucks. I just started like working that yesterday, and then my ads went down. So I'm like trying to put out the fire of like, dang, because now it's like my ad account might get disabled. I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned, I guess. But I just like they just all rejected. I'm like, what the heck is going on? So when you find the biggest thing is like you have to have like one thing I'm learning right now, and maybe this could benefit you guys is like you have to have systems in place. You have to have operating procedures in place for what that looks like. You're wearing a bunch of I always remember like hearing you're wearing a bunch of different hats, so I never knew what that actually looked like practically until recently because like I'm wearing a marketing hat, and the marketing hat and the marketing guy needs to come to the sales guy, Johnny, and you need to meet with the CEO, Johnny Nitafan of Nitafan Financial, and you guys need to have a meeting. What's going well, what's not? Okay, so now you look at the sales guy. How'd your week go? And you're like, hey, we closed at 42. My average close ratio right now is 42% when I go through a full presentation, which is great for one call closing. So it's like, how was your week? Okay, I had this many contacts, this many presentations, this many appointments were, and then I asked myself, I asked the sales guy, hey, were you calling your leads within 5 minutes? How many dials were you making? How many contacts were you making? How many presentations did you run? Um, were you going through the script? How's your headspace? What'd that look like? Okay, great. You got your stuff done. Great job. Now switch it over to the marketing guy. Marketing guy, how'd your ads perform this week? Um how did like what are things that you looked at of like, okay, ad cost was here. Okay, like lead cost was here. Okay, like honestly, you didn't do a great job in that because lead costs were $3 to $4 this week, and they've been $2. Something changed. Something didn't work in the test. Okay, what else? How are there's different things that I look at with the ads. Like how's the reach going with that? How's the there's a bunch of different factors that I look at in terms of how are the ads performing. So then they come to the CEO, I look at myself and I'm like, okay, what's good? Okay, where's lead quality at? Because there was a week prior, lead quality was down. And the way I could tell that is because lead costs went up and conversions went way down. And cost per acquisition, yeah, that's another thing I asked the advertising is like, what's your cost per acquisition? Well, cost per acquisition went up, closing rate went down. I'm like, holy cow, lead quality was trash. So now I need to like optimize it a little bit, tweak it a little bit, run a test, see how that goes. So then it's like, okay, cool. Then you look at the numbers. So, but you really have to do a balancing act of like, hey, when you're a sales guy all day, every day. However, when you can't sell, you go to the marketing guy and say, hey, I like act like I'm talking to two different people because like the
You
marketing
have
guy
to
should
look at
not
the
be
role
focused on what
through
the
that
sales guy's doing.
lens.
And the sales guy should not be focused on the marketing guy. The sales guy should be focusing on I'm closing every lead that comes through. The marketing guy is like, hey, I'm going to create the best quality lead at all times. So then the CEO, me, I'm like, okay, lead quality goes down a little bit, still profited 6K, not horrible. We can live with it. We're still on a run rate of 25K a month. We'll be fine. However, we got to tweak some things. Okay, so then I go back to the marketing guy. This is what you got to do. Let's do this. Boom. Then that's my thought process. But like you have to have key like you have to have the SOPs in place, and that's what I don't have yet. And I'm working on that. And it's like it's fun figuring it out because it's like, okay, this is what our close rate needs to be. Our close rate needs to be this, and the way we do that is by hitting five call within 5 minutes. Your closing ratio goes up, your contact rate goes up, no matter what lead it is. Like in having exact measures of like, did you hit 30 presentations? no matter if the leads are trash or not, this guy needs to be accountable to his 30 presentations. He needs to be accountable for hitting the dials, hitting the contacts, those sort of things. And then if that's not true, you need to go to CEO and talk. And then you say, okay, the marketing guy, lead costs went up higher. Maybe you send a retargeting ad now. There's so many different things that I've started to learn that it's a whole playground now, because now I have 6,000 emails. I could go to an email marketer and we could start running a whole play on that. But it's not something I want to split my attention and focus on yet. I just know that that's another backup option. There's a retargeting strategy that I could go to, that I only have targeted people at the top of the funnel, where I could start targeting the people in the middle of the funnel now with the retargeting. Hey, instead of going to a landing page, now we send them through this. They see a
This is
video
where
of
you
me.
start playing the long game.
Correct.
The goal is not to sell them at top of funnel, is to get them to the next step. So you take those 6,000 emails, you put them in a campaign.
Yep.
That's why I love Go High Level.
Yeah, because then you do that and then you send them to a pre-booked appointment. So now that person already went through a landing page, filled that out, and you already have that data. Then they saw the ad again. Boom, I want to do that. Then they go to a pre-booked appointment. That pre-booked appointment probably will show a little bit more, because you already know they're interested. Anybody who ends up on your calendar has already filled out 2 full forms at 2 completely different times. So then it's like, okay, wow, that could maybe create more conversations. I don't know. I haven't tried
Out
it
of
yet, but that's my
6,000
next
emails,
step.
there's at least, you should be getting like at least $2 per email when you start soliciting to that. So
$2 an email.
$2 per email that you have.
Okay.
That'd be a good indicator when you start email marketing. I think it'll be way more just based on what you're currently doing. But I got a couple questions. How many dials are you having to make per day or per week?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, I'm so convicted on like that, like, I need to learn how to sell even more, because I know that that's going to be one of the biggest drivers when I do start building a sales team, and I'm really trying to like just learn how to close well. Like, I want to get that 42% to an average of 60%. Like, that's like a lot, but at the same time, like, I want to be the master of sales. Like, I'm mastering the art of sales. And so and I'm still doing the reps. I need to do it for another year or two to really like solidify this and like really be able to teach it like easily. But what I will say is that right now it's on average about 800 a week. On average, I mean, the like a couple weeks ago did like 1,200. My goal, I set my standard really high, because I just want to like make money. I never made money before. Like I would write a lot of business. I just wouldn't like actually like profit a ton. So what
Oh,
I
don't
started
worry,
doing is
other
like,
people were.
what was that?
Don't worry, other people were profiting.
Yeah.
With every 10 apps you write, Johnny, how many of those are referrals?
Honestly, none. I'm horrible at the referral game. I need to get better at it.
Well, that is
I
the
would say
only
like
thing that is
maybe
going.
1%. Like, I mean, maybe 10%. Like, out of every 10, probably like half. Because I maybe get a husband or wife if they're there. But
Though that is the only thing that is going to counteract your ad cost in the future is word of mouth. So
yeah.
I definitely want you to focus on that. Based on your current ads and 15x ROI, what are the dials, contacts, appointments daily or week? He's not doing appointments, guys. So
No.
you're on average doing 800 to 1,200 dials a week.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's like at the
That's
same like
it's really
it's just
not
you
for
got to
the
commit to
amount
the
of money.
season. What was that?
It's really not for the amount of money you're making. It's very well worth it because you're still probably not even doing. You might actually be around 40 hours a week.
Oh, yeah. I actually like I but it's like it's easy because like honestly, I'm not even working the leads hard enough. Like those dials that I'm making are all on new leads, like straight up. Like all on brand new fresh leads, and I dial 3 times and move them on. 3 times move them on. Like that's it. So they're
I would
answering or they're
sell
not.
them. I would
What was
sell
that?
them to 3 different agents and charge them each $20 for the same lead. And
Well, that's what
we can
lead
just make
vendors are
an
doing.
IMO.
Yeah, it's a great business model for sure. Like when I look at it, I'm like, I could do that and make probably 7 figures
If
at
you want
two,
to
but
be
it's like,
stoned to death, yeah. People,
yeah,
I'm
you
not even going to
definitely
go
could.
into
And
the shit talking that I see because it's hilarious. It's the one reason I would never want to get into being a lead vendor unless I knew it was quality. But I think
it's
what you're doing is going to be very profitable to your agency when you bring people on because, like me and David just started our agency back, and we're going to be providing leads to all of our people at no cost to them. And so it's like they just spend all of their time selling. And that's a strong recruiting point. I know
well, it's
you're
huge because that's the highest level. That's the highest lever. So like
they
when
only
you're getting
sell, they
in,
don't have to worry about recruiting. They're not allowed to recruit for a year. If they even bring that up to me in the first year, I'm fucking firing them.
yeah, you need to. Like you should not. You should learn how to sell first. Like
You're giving $2,000 of issued paid premium a month, and you're listening to your dumbass upline tell you to buy more leads, do more activity, and recruit a team. Yeah, let me know how that fucking works.
yeah, it's not.
I know
It's
you're
just
in the season of paid ads, but are you also posting organic content on any platforms, or is it even worth your attention and focus being shifted?
honestly not right now. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I know it's a play I need to get into, but like it's one of those things when you're in a you sell or die situation, you're not focused on crazy long term. And I just started getting to I'm not technically at that point. I guess I could. I just
You technically are because Johnny, here's the unfortunate truth: is you're always running two businesses, the one you're in and the one you're becoming.
yep.
And that's something you could pay a VA to do. I'll literally give you one. They're like $3 or $4 an hour where I'm getting them from. They're the
Yep.
hardest working Filipinos that I've ever met, and they will literally slave away 40 hours a week just making your content look perfect because that's going to help you prepare for the long term.
Yeah. I completely agree. Yeah. I definitely need to do that for sure. I guys, I'm not perfect. Like there's so many different things like that you could point out about me. I'm just sharing like
Oh,
my
absolutely. But I'm,
journey and like
yeah,
what I've been going. And I'm not saying that you were. I'm just saying like just in general like guys, I'm not perfect. Like yeah, technically like if hypothetically if it was a perfect world, I'd be building brand and be doing all that, but it's like right now it was like it was sell or die. Like it was like, do I make rent or not? Like I'm not focused on what my business is going to look like in 10 years because I don't even know what if I'm going to even have a business if I can't even make rent. So that's why I just went to paid advertising because you could literally put money in and get money
quickest
out pretty
ROI.
fast.
If you find a winning ad.
Correct.
It took me months to get certain ads
Yeah.
working well just for them to break a week later because someone copied it off Facebook ads library, which is a hack for any of you guys. Go
Yep.
see which ads have been running the longest, make a slight variation, put some damn dollars behind it, and Mark Zuckerberg will treat you well. If it's been running for 2 years, it's probably making them money. No one's
Oh
going to
yeah.
run an ad for 2 years that just unless they're laundering money, but I highly doubt that's their way of doing it. So I will DM you for that referral. Awesome. To start focusing on organic content. Thank you for sharing, Johnny. I'm taking a lot in. You are doing great, brother. You're bringing valuable information to the marketplace. Guys, and yeah, Johnny pointing out that he is not perfect, guys. What we're trying to do is give you guys a reference point to help you get to where he is or better by applying what we can learn from maybe the things he's doing well and the things he's not doing so well. Guys,
Correct.
none of us are fucking perfect.
Yep.
But if
Yeah.
you can do what he's doing and more, you'll end up surpassing.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of competition. I love being in the gladiators arena. About to put my damn helmet back on. Going to fucking war out here, taking souls. I've been told to kill myself like 20 times this week. It's absolutely hilarious. Like, I can't take it. Don't make fun of me. I can't take it anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do. Johnny, they keep bullying me. I don't know what I'm going to do. Losers.
Yep.
So, what would your biggest piece of advice be to someone who's writing large amounts of volume and not profiting shit?
I mean, what I would say is like those people know how to sell, which is great. Like, you know pretty much how to sell, you just don't know how to make money yet. And I think you're right there. That's why I don't recommend generating from like right from the get-go, because it was like it was a perfect storm, because one, I needed, like, I pretty much got kicked out of the other, like, IMO that I was with. I was just told, like, let's just part ways. I'll sign a release and things like that right now. And it's like, okay. So I like wasn't part of their, I couldn't be part of there anymore, pretty much. Like, obviously that's not exactly it, but like I pretty much was asked to like
Still a rookie producer of the year.
yeah, like it
When
was
I
just
saw that, dude, I was like, I'm gonna send this to him. That's hilarious.
dude, that was hilarious too, because
Uh,
you called me, then there's a few other people that texted me congrats, and I was like, congrats on like what? And then they send the same picture, and it's like, oh, that's hilarious. um which I'm grateful. I mean, that's what's funny is like all the premium that I wrote under you is like that counted into that 250, which is insane. And that was only with symmetry. That doesn't count over like 100 to 120 just at a different place that I was at before for like 3 months. So that's where I get like right around 400, and I'm just about to hit my year mark in 3 days, but
and guys, this is
um
the mark of a good teacher because Johnny surpassed me in terms of being an insurance agent. You're a better insurance agent than I am. I cleared all the weeds out of the way for you.
correct.
And then you went on and we started tackling problems together because you surpassed me. I went on to started coaching agents.
Yeah.
So I wanted to pursue a completely different opportunity. And here you still are kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
So
Well,
guys, like this is how
that's
crucial
yeah,
it is.
that's well, you said it perfectly. Like the whole goal of a mentor is if you guys are both on the same page, that it's not about who's better, but like how can the teacher give the mistakes away?
Yeah, I didn't hold anything back from you.
Correct. Like
You
it
got
was
to
the
where you doubled what I was doing in a way shorter time frame, which that's fucking awesome for me, dude, to know that
yeah,
you and Bailey like have money in the bank.
yeah,
That's worth its weight in gold to me. To see Adam Lindsay absolutely slaying the fucking competition. He's texting me like every 30 minutes, dude, just did this, dude, just did. It's like, let's go. It's like no one there is better than you.
yep,
And so it's just I keep getting better, you keep getting better, and we get to tackle life together, man. And it's just a collaboration of skills. You're picking up completely different things that now I can maybe start learning some things from you like that.
yeah. And that's the whole mark of like the teacher. Like one, you were able to like really launch into your coaching business because there was a student there that you can like teach. And that's the value I've like if you're ever like thinking I was asking this guy to Alex Hormozzi's number one sales guy, and I was like, what value do you feel like you bring to him? Because you're just like a 21-year-old dude. And he was like,
No, Jacob Hopkins.
yeah, he's like, the value that I bring to him is the teacher learns twice. And so he's like, if I'm applying everything he's saying and the advice that he's giving, like he's learning the lesson again. He's getting reminded of that lesson again. And that was, I think honestly, like that was my value that I could give to you. Cause honestly, I came in like broke with no money, doing nothing.
I've
And it's
told
like,
people that he who teaches learns twice because
correct.
I'm now reminding myself of the parameters and the boundaries that I set. It's like I used to teach my little cousin, hold my hand before we walk across the road so you don't get smacked and turned into a pancake. And now that he's a little bit older and has some conscious awareness, we go walking into Walmart to get him some toys for his birthday, whatever. Not buying him dumbass toys. I'll get him something productive. But he's like, hold my hand. Like, he's now reminding me of the boundaries that I set in place for him.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's a key thing. Like I go back to like what Alex Hormozzi says about it, because it's just good. Like you, when you find a mentor that is actually willing to invest in you, like getting them coffee is not going to do anything, but like the value that you can give them if you find that person that's willing to do it is actually like listening to what they say and actually taking action. And then coming back and say, hey, I did this. This worked. What should I do now? Because I had this problem come up.
And it increases the buy-in, guys. I see so many people shit on their mentors and stuff when what's Alex Ramos's example? So we're talking about him, like you have to learn basic math before you get into algebra then trigonometry. So instead of shitting on your prerequisite teachers, like thank them because they're going to get that much better. By me seeing your success, I get that much better and I'm able to help myself, you, the world, the marketplace even more. And guys, your income is directly reflected by the value you provide to the marketplace.
Correct.
And so I saw someone comment, they only want you using their leads, buy, and never get off the hamster wheel. Guys, that's with 99% of IMOs, because you have to look at it from how Johnny's talking about selling verticals. Okay, we have agents. There are customers. So good. We're already making money off overrides. Let's charge them for the CRM and let's give them leads. Let's sell them leads to plug into the CRM. Now let's sell them minutes to use the CRM. Guys, they want to create multiple income streams from the same person. They're solving multiple problems for the same person. Why you saw Johnny talking about getting referrals for Medicare or whatever, like he's trying to sell multiple products to the same person. That's how you increase lifetime value. You increase stick. You want customers with you for the long term. Now he has a list of 6,000 emails that he can start soliciting to.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the power of this. So, and guys, keep in mind, businesses have a responsibility to their shareholders. They want to drive up the company valuation. That way, when they go public, all this phantom stock or what people call equity shares, I fucking hate that term because it's not even real until the company's in like IPO. When they go public, then that shit's real. But until then, shut the fuck up about it. It's not real. It's pixie dust. Johnny, I'm giving you 10 million shares of Nitafan Financial. How does that make you feel?
I don't change my feeling.
Exactly. It's not even real.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. Like, I guess I might get excited.
Sell Medicare either, because then they can get off the hamster.
Who said that?
I don't know. It's just Facebook user. Right? Guys, heart the video. Do not use the like button. If you guys want an easy engagement trick for your social media, never use the like button. Use the heart, care, or like wow react. So it's a nice illusion to keep you on the hamster wheel. Yeah, guys. And I get called out. I get called a piece of shit and told to kill myself because I tell people their uplines are dumbasses for taking out loans to buy stuff, sponsorships on shows when they don't even have the money themselves. You guys are listening to broke people on how to make fucking money. It's pretty stupid. Roll of Charmin is of more value. Yes. Guys, if you want to save even more money, the average American uses, I think, 140 rolls of toilet paper a year. Just go get a bidet. No one wants to walk around with toilet paper balls in their ass crack. So spray it with some water. Oh, but it's cold. Don't be a little girl. Go get a bidet. Hello Tushy sells these things for $150. Matter of fact, I have an extra one that I bought. I'm going to give it away. That way you can walk around life with a clean ass and save you money on toilet paper. I have not bought toilet paper in 3 years when all those idiots were buying it all up from COVID. I just went and bought a bidet. A great incentive for uneducated business owners. David Hadley said that. Yes. Oh. David! Johnny, you got anything to say to David?
What up, David?
Yeah, what up, David? What up, Triple OG? Triple. LMAO, you're the shit. Thanks for all your info, Johnny. Hope you come on again and go in more depth with paid ads. Ruben Velasquez. I'm going to guess this is David Hadley. He said, yo. Guys, if you don't know, me, David, and Johnny were like the little 3 fucking musketeers leading the charge at our agency. And we absolutely destroyed the competition. So
yeah, that was crazy. That was right when I got in the industry.
Brand new, dude. To see you coming from like Starbucks, I was like, Here it is. Here we go. I
I
found my
remember being
boy.
so nervous on that first call. You're like, "Hop on the call." I was like, "I'm ready," and you're like, "Hop on the call." Um, and I hopped on the call. I was like, I didn't know that you could wear like just regular shirts and stuff. So I had like a nice dress shirt on, and I was like just getting ready to go, and I was like so nervous, heart beating out of my chest like crazy, sitting on my like my couch, and I was like, dude, like I'm so nervous, but like this could change my life. And funny story, um, this is actually really cool. I've never shared this with you, but when I left the Indianapolis airport, when you flew me out there to really go to my first event, I bought a magnet, and it was a magnet of Indianapolis, and I gave it to Bailey, and I said, I wanted to give this to you because I would never want to forget how this trip is going to change our life. And to this day, that's the only magnet on our fridge is a picture, like is a magnet of Indian. It says Indianapolis on there. And every time I think about that, it's like, dude, like I couldn't even buy the ticket out there, and you helped me out. And it's like that trip like has changed my life. Like that was a little over a year ago to this day. And I look at that, and every time I'm like reminded of like that Indianapolis trip of going to, like, we talked about so much, it was crazy. And then I was actually telling one of the guys that I'm training right now, I was like, when I started, I was so hungry. I woke up at like, do you remember I was dialing at like 10 p.m.? And then I woke
Yeah.
up and I was dialing at 6 a.m. And they're just like, and I was about to set an appointment, and I was just way too high energy. Like I could not believe he's like that he said yes to booking an appointment. And then he's like, you know what? Actually, I'm not interested, and hung up. And I was like, oh no. And
I
I was just
remember
like
that. I
so
was sitting right
frustrated.
there next to you. Man, I fucking got some great memories, dude. Life is, guys, never expect life to be fair. And although this life is abusive, guys, understand life is exclusive. And I want you guys to realize that if it's easy, it's probably not worth it at all. You're going to have to suffer. You're going to have to go through a lot of trauma. You're going to wake up on days where you don't even feel like being alive. And regardless of how you feel, you're expected to perform because let's just keep it real. You're only valued, you're only cared about based on what you provide, what you bring to the table. And if you sit around waiting for handouts all in life, you're never going to be respected. Like Johnny, just keeping it real. Do you think your wife would stay with you if you weren't doing as good as you were and you just always made excuses and you started getting overweight and never made money?
No. And it's funny because I remember we talked on my podcast, and you said, I'm not going to do what I feel like, I'm going to do what is required. And I was reminded of that this morning when the alarm went off at 4:20, and I was like supposed to go to my workout, and I was like, I'm going to sleep in. That's all I kept thinking about. And I was like, I'm not going to do what I feel like. I feel like sleeping in, but I'm going to do what's required. And I woke up and went to the gym. Like it's like these different things that like you have said and shared like has really helped me out just in different ways. Like who would have thought like that's something that would stick, but I remember you saying that, and I was like,
These are
hmm.
some of the most important life lessons that my dad taught me, and I did not understand until I was older and forced to know how to really be a man just by remembering lessons my dad had taught me. I grew up pretty much with a single mother, an abusive household, all of that shit. Da 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 da. I don't care for the sob story, but it's like I'm so appreciative that I now have those lessons from my dad
Yeah.
because now I get anything that I want. I have chest hair, a beautiful beard. I get to wear whatever the fuck I want because I don't care what anyone has to say about me because I know they can't beat me up. And I'm I look at it like the 300 Spartans. That's my favorite movie. No surrender, no retreat against all odds.
Yep.
Well, how you do one thing is how you do everything 100%. If you're shit in sales, you'll be shit in relationships, you'll be shit with God. And God does not like lazy people. Regardless of whatever your pastor tells you, God does not like lazy people. I will go on the record and say that. And that's
Yep.
why he's blessing Johnny beyond his belief, because he's a good steward. We are Sparta. Hang on, what does that movie say? He's like, what is your profession? Oh, I fucking love that scene, dude. Kicking that dude off the cliff. This is Sparta. Don't let your overweight pastor tell you any different. Yeah, guys, don't let someone fat tell you how to get in shape. So, Johnny, I appreciate you being on here, dude. I got to get on a coaching call with my mentor, Nico. So, we're going to talk about some new offers. But, dude, I always love connecting with you, man. I'm glad we're rid of bad uplines and we can talk now because you're not being lied to. And I'm super fucking proud of you as always, man. But there's
Appreciate
always
you
more to
guys.
do.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace out, guys. Be sure to like the video, share it. If you're interested in reaching out to any one of us, we're not hard to find. So I'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.